Hey YouTube, here we go. Let's do this. Let's go live. Here we go. Facebook. Oh, man. Hey everybody, I'm gonna sit here for a couple minutes, see if we get anybody clicking on here. How's everyone's day going? Hopefully it's going great. So I'm gonna do this 3-day event. I'm gonna talk here a little bit, go over what we're gonna do, and then we'll get started. So this 3-day event I'm going to do is hopefully these video clips will be approximately, 10 minutes apiece. Hopefully they inspire you, motivate you, move you. Remember, my bottom slogan always is mastering your willpower. And people have asked me, hey, what's mastering your willpower? Well, by the end of this, you will understand fully what mastering your willpower is. Mastering your willpower is something that you will do every day of your life, whether you believe it, see it, or not. Because at the end of the day, you'll find out. Just stay tuned in. I'm going to go over some stuff here in a minute and then we'll get started with this. So let's get going because we got stuff we got to do, right? We got life. I got less than 10 minutes, hopefully. So I got this little thing. Mastering your willpower. What is it? You guys, I said I was going to tell my story, and this is realistically what it is. Mastering your willpower is a part of everyday life that I go through. It's a slogan that I created. Hopefully that will inspire you, move you, and motivate you within your life. So, what is it, you ask? By the end of this, you will totally understand what I'm saying. My life is not a sob story. It is an inspirational story. The days in, the days out, the struggles of life. And everyone's like, oh, well, that could just be everyone's life. Well, yeah, it's true. But are you telling your story? Because that's where I'm going to stop you right there and dead in your tracks. Because I don't hear you blabbing your story all over the internet, telling what's going on, trying to inspire people to better themselves. Because if I can do it, you can do it. I have total faith that anybody can tell any story they want on social media and get viewers. I have proven that right now. We've been doing this what, 2 months? And right now I think for starting pretty much from 0 all the way up on every platform I'm on, the 4 major ones, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, I believe I'm almost over 400 followers, and I started with 0. So anybody can do anything they want. The reality is how bad do you want it? You want it bad as you want to breathe. So my story, this what we'll do is if you have comments, questions, please ask them at the end. If you watch these videos during the day, cool. If you have a question, if you have a comment, I will get to it the following day. But by the third day, so we're doing is a 9 a.m. West Coast time, a 6 a.m. West Coast time, everything's West Coast, and then a 6 a.m. on Sunday. So Fridays today, 9 a.m., Saturday and Sunday, 6 a.m., both of those. We're going to go over this. We're going to try to make you guys understand what mastering your willpower is. Because the reality is it has to be put out there because it's only going to benefit you as a person if you are struggling with life's adversities. So let's get into it. Make sure I covered everything in my notes. Perfect. Yeah, let's get going. Hi, I'm Will from Adversity's Door. Over the last 2 months, I have put on a positive page on social media because for years I've always been told, oh, especially in the last probably 4 years, social media is nothing but negativity. But the problem is we have the ability and the opportunity to inspire people around the world just by using our voice, by being the vessel, by being the opportunist that wants to better people's lives, by inspiring them, by telling their stories, by telling what they've gone through, by helping them understand what life is all about. It's about the struggles. Everyone deals with them. Yeah, my parents might go, oh, well, why do you always focus on the negatives? Well, it's not the negatives. It's about the negative at the first, but how to inspire to get over what is wrong within this world, what is wrong within your life. There's always a golden light at the end of the tunnel. There always needs to be a light. At the end of the day, if you only see gray and dark and gloomy, you have to turn around and look up. And that's where this starts. I have a pretty, I love this quote, and I say it a lot to myself, and I say it to people that are going through things in life. Knowledge is power, right? I get that from a famous motivational speaker that I listen to. His name's Eric Thomas. But I also put a spin on it. Applied knowledge is wisdom. So I don't care how much knowledge I give you, I can drag you to the water. I can't force you to drink water. But if I show you what you want, and application is key within any of this, folks, you have to be willing to apply yourself day in and day out to learn from what people go through, the struggles of life. So here's my story. Let's get started. I was born May 1st, 1989. I was born nearly 2 weeks late. Some people go, okay, well, what's so big about that? Well, if anybody's a medical professional, they can tell you being 2 weeks late is not really a good thing. There's a lot of medical concerns I can go on with that. I was born to an amazing supportive mother and a very supportive dad. My dad is a provider. My mom is a carer. They love, and I'm very grateful for them. They are probably a lot of the driving force behind mastering your willpower. At 6 weeks old, I had a stomach surgery. I had a stomach disease. I was the very first one in northern Michigan hospital to ever be diagnosed with it. But within that surgery, I had to have an emergency blood transfusion or a blood transfusion due to I lost a lot of blood. You know, and that's the big thing. Most people don't understand. Like, you were given life. You were given those opportunities. I love to donate blood. I normally do it quite frequently. I haven't done it in the last year, and it's sort of bitten me in the butt, and you'll hear about that later on within this story. Let's get back to it. So you can say I'm a little bit biased when I come at this statement this way. I believe people that have medical problems or had medical problems when they were younger, have gone through something, are typically a little bit more stronger when it comes to the pains and the adversities within life. Yeah, you can say I'm biased because I've done it and I've gone through it. But the biggest thing I can tell you is going through those, you understand what you cannot give up on life. Um, when I was 5 years old, by this time I've already had 3 sets of tubes, my adenoids taken out, and a couple stomach surgeries. So you can see I was a fairly sick kid. We can probably relate on a lot of things within adversity just from those things alone, because in most people's lives they have had surgeries or they will have a surgery. The problem is how do you get over it? How do you go through it? How do you go through the pains and struggles of life? You know, the one thing I, as a kid or as an adult now looking back, I've always wondered, why me? You know, and the thing is, I always think that, but the reality is, it's try me now because I'm okay with it. I'm okay with being a human guinea pig. I'm ready for life to happen. But as a kid, I was always like, why me? Why do I gotta go to the hospital? You know, my friends aren't going to the hospital, my friends aren't going to the doctors. But why? Why do I get picked that way? And you know what? I was just created strong enough to take on those adversities and tell my story and inspire people. Everything has a creation of making its way up to the adversities or the end goals within your life. It's just, are you willing to take those on and to accept those? Um, when I was a kid, you can look back at one of my video clips. It talks about ADHD and dyslexia. I barely passed the second grade. The only reason I passed the second grade is according to um, people, I was taller than the teacher. And they also had No Children Left Behind, which we'll get into that in a different conversation, or you can listen back on my opinion on No Children Left Behind. Um, Yeah, that was definitely a big thing. When I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD dyslexia. By the fifth grade, they started putting me on medicine to help me concentrate within those. We can relate on that because there's a lot of people that. But the number one thing is watch that one video and you'll understand where I'm going with. Also in the fifth grade, I decided to be a numbskull or a kid, a boy. I was trying to show off to a girl, and I jumped out of a second-story playhouse that my dad had built for me. Being that dummy, I didn't use the bathroom for almost 2 weeks. Telling my mom and dad this, I had to go to the hospital where they found stomach stuff, if you will, about an inch from my heart. If it would have hit my heart, could you imagine what would have happened? It would have been a big thing. So, within telling that story, if you are the numbskull or the one who has the kid that is going to show off, just pay attention to them because they probably aren't going to tell you when they hurt themselves. They're just going to keep moving within life. That's the reality. When I was 12 years old, I started to develop depression, anxiety. I felt like people were always watching me. And so, being on the medicine, I felt a little bit weird. So they put me on a medication to assist me with antidepressant. And I don't think that's very effective. And I've talked to medical professionals and they will tell you anything of anything. If you can try to control that yourself, you probably should just try to control it yourself due to their side effects on anything. Anything you put into your body, there will be a side effect. We'll get into that later on myself. I'm not perfect by any means. I've done a lot of stupid stuff within that. Um, I had a bad time with the medicine. I ended up in a hospital and removed from the medicine. And like I said, if you watch that video, you'll see what I say. Well, that summer, we're going to end here. I was 13 years old. I got into a massive jet ski accident. This would be the coming to Jesus moment, if you will, before I knew God and I understood what God was. So, my dad and me were playing around. It happens, everyone's playing around on jet skis, splashing each other, swooshing around. Well, I was a fearful kid that was trying to make myself fearless, aka I was being dumb. My dad splashed me, I splashed him back. Well, he got me good, and all I could see, like he was riding on it. There was an island in the middle of the lake, and all of a sudden, I gunned it because I couldn't see anything. All of a sudden, I remember is in silence, serenity. This would be where I realized, before I realized it was, that there's more to life. There's more to life than what we put out there, what we live for, because this is where the development of purpose came into my head of you have something, you need to do something, you need to be something. And when I say that, that moment of silence was serenity. There was no peace. There was no worries. There was nothing wrong with the world. I couldn't feel the pain. I couldn't feel anything. The only thing I remember is a harmonious noise around me. And something lifted my hand up. And at that time, I ended up reaching to the back of a jet ski, which then pulled me up. As I look around, the realities of life started to hit me in the face. The realities that something severe just happened. As I look around, I can hear screaming off in the distance. And oh, damn, what did I do? Because, see, I had a kid on the front of my jet ski, and my dad had a kid on the front of his jet ski. But I am the one that messed up. I am the one who panicked in a moment of life's things. Was I young? Yes. Was I too young to have a cognizant understanding at that moment? Probably. So I probably shouldn't have been on the jet ski, some people would say. And you're right. But I also wanted to get over my fears and wanted to conquer something in life. But with all the screaming, with all the yelling, I was calm in the moment. I was calm in the storm. As I look down at the water's all red. I can look down and I can see my leg is in shambles. I can see stuff. I can see my veins. I can see everything that you could imagine just floating in the water. What happened? Why? We're going to wrap up right there with the why. We'll start back tomorrow. We're going to get back into this. So, understanding within that conversation, a couple things you could take away from this story. And yeah, I'm over 10 minutes, but it had to be said. Mastering your willpower is a daily process. It's daily moments that developed me. If you know or if you think you know what mastering your willpower is, put it in the comment section. Let me know. Because if you are right, I'll let you know if you're right. But where and when does your mastering your willpower begin? When? When did your story start? When did your life happen? What makes you overcome obstacles? What makes you seek through those adversities? Keep moving, keep trucking on. What in your life was the changer? I asked those questions. So today, think about them. If you watch this video, think about them. Think about the moments of life when your life changed and you didn't know what to do. You didn't understand the full concept of what was happening in, day out process. You guys will start up tomorrow at 6 a.m. Join me live if you want. Watch it, like it, share it. But on day 3, I will let you know what mastering your willpower is. You guys have a great day. Stay safe out there. God bless. See you guys.